So you have elected death. That's what I see with China. Like, we are putting on a show for the world right now. We cannot be seen to do some of the things that we need to do on a geopolitical scale for the next 50 years to continue to kick ass. So, we orchestrated shit in such a way as to make us appear very, very weak. I think even the transgender shit in the military is a psyop by the CIA to try to get China to start this shit. That's what I think. I think we want to go. I think for whatever reason, now is the time. It's now or never. They're going to keep getting stronger. We're going to keep getting weaker. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it live. Let's use the fucking nukes. Let's nuke Beijing. I want to see dead children. I want to see the souls of 1,000 dead children raising into the fucking sky. Is that what you want? Is that what you fucking want, America? China? Whoever the fuck it is? That's what you're going to get. I personally cannot wait for the sting of whatever this is. It's going to be fantastic. I just can't believe that you people actually fucking want it. I can't believe that you want it so bad that you keep electing Nancy Pelosi. It's going to be glorious. We've now orchestrated World War III, boys. And I guess the question you should start figuring out now is, which service are you going to fucking go join? Because they're going to come for you. They're going to come for us all. They want drone pilots for this war. Almost anyone can do that. That's what they're going to ask you to do. You should get prepared to do it. Like, this is the thing that China can't even fathom, I'm guessing, is we have toys. We have toys that we didn't pull out in Afghanistan and Iraq. 100%. I know we do. I've seen them. And some of this shit, it's going to be funny to watch this. I think World War III is going to be very conventional. I don't think we're going to see nukes used at all. I think it's a lot like gas in World War II. World War I, everybody fucking went crazy with the gas. World War II, people realized that all that does is cause everybody to use gas, and that's not good for anybody. And that's the exact same thing has happened with nukes. That is what we're watching. Pretty much the whole world watched Putin call our bluff. We didn't really do shit. We punished him economically. And now Xi Jinping is going, they're weak. I think we could take Taiwan. It's important for us to take Taiwan for our long-term plans. In reality, the only way this ends is with China being conquered by the United States of America. Nothing less is acceptable. The only way to conquer China is to kill them all. You wondered what the movie Starship Troopers was about. We're getting ready to watch it. China's like an ant colony. The only good bug is a dead bug. Hoorah. Like, that's where this is headed. If anyone starts using nukes, it's probably going to be us. We don't have the conventional forces to wage a ground war in Southeast Asia against them. They don't have the forces to really take Taiwan. So I don't really know what's going to go down here, but our technological edge is the wild card in this. That no one believes that we're going to be able to do some of the things that we can do. It's one of those, like, when Teddy Roosevelt was doing shit that orchestrated World War I to happen, no one believed that we had men that could fly. let's just say Orville and Wilbur weren't the only ones to invent the airplane. There were flying machines before them. They were the first dudes that just went hog wild with it or whatever and put it in the papers. Other people did that and kept developing shit. There's all sorts of UFO stories from the 1800s that are Zeppelins and other weird shit. The start of UFO stories isn't really in World War II. It's the start of our modern crazy balls of light shit. Before that, there were UFO stories in Texas. You can go look them up. The thing was described like a big Zeppelin. A lot of weird stories like that. And my thing is, I think there's always this hidden hand of history, these secret societies and these fucking like CIA and Masons and whoever else that are developing this tech. And then they get in positions to sell said tech. And some of it is they've sold people a bunch of new toys in the last couple of decades, and now everybody wants to go use them, I think. And like maybe these are aliens doing this. Maybe it is crashed ships or whatever, but like some of this is our wars in the desert caused shit to fall into hands of Russians and Chinese spies, and they copied it really well. However, that means that they have really good copies of shit that was old 20 years ago. Think about that. If they really do try to one up us on technology, we have shit hidden that could take care of that. I'm pretty certain of that now. I'm not saying like the Bob Lazar shit, but like it wouldn't surprise me if we had at least a handful of craft that were capable of doing that Bob Lazar shit. And one of those would be able to wipe out China. They don't realize quite yet that they're fighting gods. Little g, like the Greek gods. I think whatever we found, it was the same thing that powered the gods on Olympus. And I think we've been fucking with it for a long time, like since World War II. And maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe we don't have nothing. Maybe this is all just the world's falling apart. But it certainly seems right now like we're watching a show. We're watching an orchestrated takedown of our world. And I think it's almost like it's either the natural thing of man that we do this, that we, decline and fall apart, and then like a war happens, and the war determines who rules the planet for the next 100 years. That kind of a thing. I think that's what's going on. And I think to some extent, our secret shit has always been in preparation for this because it was coming. Like, I knew we were going to go to war with China in the 90s. I was talking about it with my grandfather and his buddies. And when I laid out the case as to why I thought we were inevitably going to go to war with China, it was pretty much what's happening right now, that they control a lot of shit and we control a lot of shit, and we're going to butt heads eventually. And I even said the thing that we were going to butt heads over was Taiwan, because they want Taiwan. And the reason they want Taiwan is because it makes them vulnerable. You can't really invade mainland China. It's very difficult to do. However, if you already have Taiwan, you can establish a hell of a beachhead in mainland China and make the further invasion of China much, much more possible in the future. China's a big, big apple, and you have to take it in bites. That's just history and logic. So, knowing that, the Chinese place a hell of a priority on getting Taiwan. Always will. Means, really the end of the Korean conflict never ended. Like, this is what we're watching here. This is the fight at the end of World War II for Asia sparking back up again. It's inevitable. Like, the only thing holding all that together was the fact that Russia and America were fucking superpowers and were fighting a war and were keeping China under their thumbs because neither one of them really liked China. Mao and Stalin had a falling out. The thing that has allowed China to not be North Korea is that Nixon opened it back up in the 70s to trade with the West. I think this is what we should do. Like, before we nuke all their children, because, like, I don't know, that just sounds bad. I think we should blockade them and cut them off from all fucking trade. And what I mean by that is on an international level, do to them what we do to North Korea. Not only do we not trade with North Korea, whatever, but no one else trades with North Korea because we told them not to. Okay? Now, China is going to run that shit, blockades to Africa and shit, and try to sell their shit. So you blockade them. And I wouldn't do a blockade in the traditional sense. I wouldn't even use our Navy. I would use space-based weapons, and I would just obliterate any ship from orbit. Like, space-based weapons. Do we have them? Well, we made a space force. We think China is going to be using space-based weapons to attack our satellites. What do you think? Okay? And once you're conducting satellite-to-satellite warfare in space, not a big leap to have satellite-to-ground weapons. In fact, those were probably there first because we were trying to get an edge on Russia. Like, this is the thing that I think is ridiculous. I think we've had, like, the rods of God since, like, the 70s. Like, people like to talk about that. That's, like, the lowest tier fucking space-based weapon. And that thing alone, you could keep some ships out of China. Not to mention drones and all the rest of it. And, like, my thought would be little submarine drones, like mines that can hunt ships. I'd build those. What we're watching right now is we are the British Empire, which is the Roman Empire. In case you didn't know that, like, we are very Roman. The British were very Roman. We're watching a slave revolt in our colonies happen. That's what China is. That's what I think is funny about, them being uppity on the world stage. You make our shit. We choose to buy it from you. You should consider yourself fortunate. I've hated China for as long as I can remember. I don't hate the Chinese people. I love the Chinese people. I would like to liberate them. But the Chinese people have this tendency to fucking want to be ruled by like a god emperor. I don't know what the fuck is up with that. It's like just the way they have always done it there. And it's sick. And it's sick for various reasons, but our system has become sick. Like, this is the thing in the world right now is the Reaper's scythe is going to fix a lot of this shit, boys. That's why we're going to war. Okay? You want to fix corruption? You want to fix fucking nepotism? You want to fix despotism? You want to fix whatever? Saddle up. That's what this is for. Like, the thing that kills me about the Second Amendment community, and in particular the gun meme review community, is I don't think those people would ever do anything ever. Ever. Like the Boogaloo Boys and whatever. Like, I think this has been my issue with them since the start is like, nut up or shut up. You want to start a fucking revolution? Let's start one. Oh, you're not going to? Well, then you're a fucking coward, and I have no interest in talking to you. Like, I don't want to start a revolution. That's not my point. I am a pastor at best. At worst, I'm a hooker. So, it's an interesting combination I'll give you, but we adapt to modern times. My point in all of this is the whole world is the Boogaloo Boys. The whole world is the Gun Meme Review people. Nobody wants to fucking shed first blood. Nobody wants to fucking do this shit. Everybody's just, oh, let's all get along and whatever. Except for a handful of us that aren't that way. And some of those people are in very, very high fucking positions watching this shit going on. And they started making moves on the chessboard to initiate World War III. Okay? That's, it's not even Pelosi and Biden and all that shit. Those people are just incompetent, I think. I literally think they're too stupid to do their jobs and too old to do their jobs, and they're being misled by their children and alcoholic spouses or whatever. Maybe Pelosi drinks too. I don't know. In any case, on the world stage, when Putin is leading Russia and Xi is leading China and whatever, when you start doing these things that they're doing, like someone like me or Putin is inevitably going to go, I think I could do whatever I wanted. I think I will do whatever I want. Because these people are unreasonable and can't be dealt with. And that's what got us the invasion of the Ukraine. And like this shit in Taiwan is 100% a result of us being weak on the world stage. Like, this is what happens when you let E. Honda run things. What I mean by that is, he was always, we shouldn't have war, blam. We shouldn't do this, man. We shouldn't fucking bleed, bleed, bleed. Mother Green's killing machine is the only reason you have a fucking thing to bitch on. If we don't do this, bad shit happens. Okay? You're getting your dream right now. Like, we're not fighting wars. That's what's going on. And like, you might be like, oh, well, we're causing the Ukraine thing to happen. I don't have an answer for that, man. That shit's fucking strange as shit. I think the Ukrainian mob runs Biden. I don't know. That one's just out of left field somewhere. But what I'm saying on China, at least, is if you fucking don't fight this shit, it eventually fights you. Okay? China taking over the chip industry in Taiwan would give them control of the globe for a short minute and would give them control over a significant portion of the globe forever. This is why they can't be allowed to have Taiwan under any circumstances. This is why we're getting ready to have a nuke fight with fucking China and Russia. Okay? This is why your fucking foreign policies suck. Fucking hate Democrats. Like, this is the typical fucking Democrat line of, oh, we don't need a military and we can cut that funding and blah, 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 blah. See what it gets you. We're going to have a lot of dead people. I just hope that they aren't in the U.S. from nukes. Like, that's all I'm praying at this point is that the nukes don't land here. They're going to land somewhere probably. My guess is that we're going to have limited tactical nuclear exchanges in Asia if this does trip off, just based on troop numbers. I think we'll use them. I think Russia will start using them. I don't know if China really has them. I don't know what China's nuclear capabilities really look like, but my guess is they probably have them too. So, like, if you're a soldier in the U.S. military right now and you're getting ready to go to China at some point, like, God be with you. You're going to get fucking irradiated. Like, I think this is half of why we aren't going to be sending people. We're going to be sending robots. That's one of those, like, we don't need to make a humanoid robot. It's much more difficult to fight a bird-shaped robot that shoots bullets. Think about it. You had like a hummingbird that shot a 9 mil and you had 40 million of them. You know, make them little suicide machines. What do you think Japan probably has? If I were Japan, that's exactly what I would do. They have a gamer culture, much as the US does now. And like, this is why they have you guys playing video games. In case you didn't know that, like the entire video game industry, I think, is to ready drone pilots. It's a very orchestrated fucking thing we're watching right now. Crazy part is I don't even know who fucking really orchestrates this shit. Like it seems like the obvious answers would be us, but we're definitely not doing this shit. Be funny if this was the Queen of England doing this. Like we're finally gonna take back our empire from these Yankee bastards. Well, I'm gonna cut this off here because I don't have anything else to fucking talk about. But like, it really saddens me that like we're getting ready to use nukes. That's with Pelosi taking her trip. Kiss the world goodbye, boys. Like you might as well sit around and smoke. There's no point to life. That's where I'm at with Nancy Pelosi. Like I don't understand anything that's happened with her in the last ever, but I don't understand this thing particularly a lot. Like it's like she wants to die. Maybe she does. Maybe this is her suicide attempt. Maybe she's the sacrificial lamb. The Satanists are sacrificing Nancy Pelosi to start the World War III. I've got to say, I prayed to God. I prayed to God that Nancy Pelosi would die in fire, so we'll see. See what happens. Later, boys.